Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how to change out your automatic shutoff valve, your pressure regulator, and your one-way check valve. So this is the automatic shutoff valve. It controls when to turn off the RO, so it stops producing water. This stops it when it knows it's full. It'll stop. It works off back pressure. So if this thing goes out, your machine might constantly making noise because it's just constantly running water. So just a brief rundown. We got the if you see on the piece, there is a raised lettering. It says in and out. It's right here. Right here. It says in and out. So just remember that's where this is the in, this is the out. It's important that you know the difference, because this guy might you don't want to put you don't want to mix these two up. And then on the other side we have tank and tank. So well, when we get to the machine, we'll get to that part. This is not it. These are both the same. So remember, these are both the same, tank, and then over here we got our in and out. So this is the in and this is the out. This is more important that we make sure that these are put in correctly. Very important. And then on right here we got the one-way check valve here. You see there's a arrow right there. That's the direction of the flow that this goes. So it's one-way check valve. So the water will only travel through this way. It will not go this way. That's we install this onto the machine as well. So there's the pressure builds up, and then you have a better flow. So this it's also very important that you know the direction of the flow. We'll go over that once we open the machine. And then right here we got the 550 milli, whatever it is, pressure pressure regulator. This connects to your drain to the machine. So again, it's one-way arrow. So that means you don't want the drainage coming back into the machine, or not coming out. You want it to shoot out that way, out of the system and into your drain. So yeah, just this is the drain pressure regulator. So now we're gonna actually open the door and get to work on it. So what you want to do is grab both sides, push down and pull towards you on this bottom panel on the machine. It takes the panel off. I'm gonna set that aside. So now that we're here, I'm gonna make sure I have a towel with me here, because it will get wet here. I'm gonna turn this off for a second so I can fix the camera angle. So I'll be right back. Okay, we're here at the machine now. I got it got as good of an angle I can get on here as to what we're doing. So first things first, you probably have these red clips on here. These red clips have to go off before we change out everything. So I'm gonna start off with with what we're supposed to do. Is what I want you to do is we have a ball valve on the bottom here. I just want you to turn it off, and that turns off the feed to the system, so there's no more water entering the system. So it's this ball valve after the leak block sensor. This is what the leak block sensor is right here. It's this guy right here. So make sure it doesn't this thing leaks, it doesn't damage anything. So we got our leak block sensor here, and then we got our ball valve here. We're turning off the ball valve on the bottom here. And then also on top here, we got another ball valve that goes straight to the tank. We're turning that guy off too. So that is now on the off position. Ball valves work like this, where if they're parallel, whatever it is, if they're straight across like this, that means it's got a flow. But if it's crossing like this, it means it's off. So right now, both of our ball valves are off. Now what I want to do is put a towel under here, because water will come out of here. And if you see, get a better angle here. We got our clip here. We pull it off, and then there's a little collar piece on this thing right here. So what you want to do is push down and then pull out. See, it's moving out of the way. A little water came out. Okay, so I pulled that off. So here's the 550 milliliter pressure regulator. We got this off now. If you look at the direction of the flow, it was pointing out. We don't want this pointing back in, because then it'll trap the water and it won't work. So here's our new one. Just got this one, brand new. Okay, so now I'm gonna put this on here like so, remembering to make sure that the arrow is pointing out of this. You don't want it pointing in, so it's pointing out. Now we got our other tubing we removed. This is drain tubing. It if you follow it, it goes straight out of the machine. And we'll plug that back in, making sure to put that back on. And then we make sure it's all the way in. You don't want any loose tubing, or else it will leak. So remember to push the tubing all the way in. You'll feel it secure in there. And then to put one of these clips back, is simply just lifting up the wire a little bit, not too hard, just enough so it there's a space between the collar and the piece. And then what I do is just move it around a bit till it snaps back in. So we've replaced the 550 milliliter pressure regulator now. Now let's move on to this bigger one. Let's move on to the shutoff valve here. So this is the automatic shutoff valve. Remember I told you to pay attention to where the in and the out is on the valve. So what we gotta do again is take these clips off, saving them here on the side so I can put them back on. So here are the clips are finally off of the device. Now to remove it, simply we're going to do the same thing we did over here. We're going to push down on the clip that's holding the tubing, and we're going to let go. See, some water is coming out like I said it would. That's why we turned off the machine from here on the bottom, so we wouldn't have this wouldn't continue to leak. Remember, make sure to turn off the ball valve, or else you're gonna have a lot of water spray everywhere. Okay, so now that I took that off, I'm gonna work my way to the next one. Push down, pulling it out, and then now I'm going to remove it from the RO here. So here's the RO. This is the RO, the reverse osmosis, the big one with the cap on it, and it has two outlets right here. This is for the product water, and this is the drain where we just changed it out. So from what I'm looking at, Right here's here's the tubing that goes to the RO. I'm gonna pull that off now. Some water that came out as well. So after that is done, I'm gonna leave it on there because now it's just plugged into the carbon in the back. This is our post carbon. Post carbon. I mean pre-carbon. It's our pre-carbon back here, and our pre-carbon is the last thing that's connected. And I left it there for one reason, because this device, the carbon is always on the in. So if you see the raised lettering, you see there's an in and an out. Make sure you plug it in on the in. So I'm looking at my device here and it's saying this is the in. So what I'm gonna do is make sure that this is like this. So I'm gonna pull off the last tubing, look at my device here. It says in right here, so I'm gonna plug it on the in. So it's all the way plugged in now. Well, it's a lot more simpler now to just plug everything back in now. So from the RO is not installed in yet. The tubing's not installed yet. So what goes next to this carbon, what goes to this out here is this RO. And then after that, we got two tubings left. We got one right here. It's connected to the back of this filter. That's called the restructuring. So and then we got this guy with our one-way check valve. Now while I'm here, I'm going to replace the one-way check valve. So again, we're going to remove the fittings. I'm going to push down on this collar here and then pull the tube out while I'm pushing down on the collar, like so. There's a better view. That's how you save this piece. And now I got the new one here. So very important, I look for the arrow. So the arrow has to be pointing up into this automatic shutoff valve. So if you look at the arrow, it's pointing up. It's pointing away from the RO. I'm gonna push him back in like so. It's a little bit tight, but I got it in there. Make sure it's all the way in. And then so you see the arrow is pointing towards the automatic shutoff valve. Push in this other tubing that I had pulled off of the other one, and then now I have my one-way check valve installed again. Off of the one-way check valve, we're gonna plug it in to here. So I'm gonna plug it in right there. Since these are both tank, it won't truly matter where you plug it in, but what will matter is if there's the tubing is short. So like I couldn't plug it into this side, I'd have to plug it into this side. So I had to plug it the last one into the last remaining port. So that's how I did that. And now everything should be changed out. So what I'm gonna do now is simply put on the I put the red clips back on. So I'm gonna put all the red clips back onto these red clips. Ensure that these tubes do not come out. I guess in case it gets like jostled or something or pushed. So just putting all my clips back on. Take your time if you need to. It's a little bit hard to put them on. So after that is all done, we've replaced everything. Just a quick rundown from the carbon in the back. This is your post carbon, your pre-carbon. Goes to the in on this device, Make sure it's the in. Here's the out, goes to the RO. So it travels down, makes a U-turn, goes up to the RO, travels down here through the RO. And from the RO, we got our drain and product water. So from the drain, we looked and make sure that the arrow is pointing out because we don't want the drain coming back in. And then from there, we got our product water, which is this guy right here on the, and he traveled up here through this one-way check valve into our automatic shutoff valve. So that's how you change out the automatic shutoff valve, the one-way check valve, and the pressure regulator. So after all this is done and all the tubings are securely stuck in there and there's nothing problem, we're gonna turn this on. So I turned on the bottom one, the bottom ball valve, and now I'm gonna turn the top ball valve on, and that should start feeding the system again. So this will start feeding the system, and yeah, it'll start feeding the system and you should be good to go. Shouldn't be making any more loud noises if that's the issue. So hopefully this helps. To put the door back on, you would simply just do the push down on the door here, and then into that little into that hole right there, and then you push it in. And then that's let me do a quick demonstration. So what you would want to do is there's a spring here on the door right there, that white thing. You want to put it in that middle of that hole right there, and then you want to push it in. I pushed it in, so it's now in. Okay, I think that should be it. If any questions or concerns come up, you can contact Ofora, and I'll be happy to answer them.